Good evening and welcome to Market Watch. U.S. stocks resumed selling again. It fell sharply at the open as investors are skeptical about President Donald Trump's stimulus plan to combat the economic effects of the coronavirus. The Dow Jones Industrial Average Index is now down 984 points at 24,039. On tonight's Market Watch, we're joined by the Director of Market Making of Haitong International, Mr. Joseph Hermes, on the line live from New York. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Market volatility is now at the forefront. Governments around the world are looking at ways to counter economic shock from the coronavirus outbreak. What are the latest moves?
There have been several moves over the last 24 hours. This morning, the Bank of England announced an emergency rate cut of 0.5% and a $39 billion package to help steer the economy through the epidemic. German Chancellor Angela Merkel pledged to do whatever is necessary and said 60 to 70% of the population is potentially at risk. The European Central Bank's president also warned of a significant shock, while Italy's government will spend $28.3 billion for their people. Now the U.S. Federal Reserve is faced with the debate on whether or how quickly to cut rates to zero. We are expecting some concrete type of stimulus from the Trump administration today, and it looks like as we speak, some headlines are starting to roll out.
Let's take a look at the news on the race for the U.S. Democratic presidential nomination. Former Vice President Joe Biden picked up some key victories last night. Has the tide turned, and is the pressure now on Bernie Sanders?
Joe Biden has opened an all but insurmountable lead over Bernie Sanders in the race for the Democratic presidential nomination. It appears that the party's voters increasingly turning to him as the candidate they believe is best equipped to take on Trump in November. The former vice president swept last night with convincing victories in Missouri, Mississippi, Idaho, and most importantly, Michigan. A Democratic primary contest that just 2 weeks ago had Sanders as the clear frontrunner seems to have all but slipped away from the Vermont senator.
Joseph, thank you very much for sharing your insight with us. Let's look at the Dow again. It is now down 932 points at 24,082. And that's Market Watch for tonight. Thank you for watching.